Alright, Steve, we're playing this week the long-awaited Rust. Alright, Steve, this week we got our hands on Rust. And for a lot of people, they've been waiting for this on console. Myself, I wasn't necessarily super excited about it, but knowing that this is the original survival game, the one that really created all the likes of Valheim and Ark, knowing that, I was a little excited. But man, my experience with Rust is kind of like you said just before this. It's a pile of rust.
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, first of all, I had to make sure I was playing on a console. I was playing on my Xbox Series X. When I put it on, I had to make sure that I didn't have it on an old PC, throw out the graphics cards, because that's what it felt like to me. Visually, it looked boring. There was no excitement. There was no, I would say, challenges. It is basically, there you go, start at the beach, and it is a survival game, and that's all you have to do. But it's not against monsters or zombies or anything. It's other community.
Man, that's basically it, dude. This game is barren. I think in my entire 6 hours of playing this game, like 2 horses and 4 chickens, and then 1 wolf that killed me instantly because I spawned in and then it just killed me. And you want to know what? It looked bad. This game doesn't look great. This came out in late 2013, around December. So it looks like a title from December in 2013. So playing it now, man, I just had a really tough time getting into this. You spawn in, there's people all over the place, broken down houses, and all it is people just slamming you with their rocks, because for whatever reason, that's the thing to do. There's nothing else to do. It's just PvP. That's all people want to do when they play this game. So if you're, trying to build a base and establish any sort of anything, man, good luck.
But the other thing as well is, even when you're having this battle with your rocks against other community people, the mechanics are rubbish. I kept trying to re-angle myself, repositioning, and he's taking a swing and he's just totally missing me. And it's like, and he actually ran all the way from one end. I could just see him in the distance, and I thought, okay, he's doing his thing. He might be trying to bash some trees down to make wood so he can craft stuff. So in the distance, the man comes running all over just to hit me with a rock. For what? For me just to spawn with nothing to start off with?
This game's community is relentless, and this game gives you no tutorial. At the very beginning, there's 3 things that they tell you: how to throw your rock, and I think how to look around with your camera. Like, that's pretty much the extent of the tutorial. I've come from the likes of Last Oasis. Their tutorial was like a 2-hour one, maybe a little aggressive with that, but it's all about purely figuring out the game. You have a rock, you harvest wood, you then build a house or try to build an axe with it. And then from there you just kind of build and build. But still, a little more direction would have helped so much.
Oh, definitely. And even when you just touching on, you talk about the rocks. When you're carrying this rock, it's massive. But then if you throw it, it's like a pebble. And then you have to search on the ground. And also, you can't pick up any particular rock either. Like some games, any rock you see, you can pick them up and you store it to craft weapons and materials and stuff. This one was actually like, there's a rock there. Oh, can't even pick up.
Nope.
I have to pick this pebble up. And then you have to use the rock to hit the trees, which then come up with X marks of the hitting points. It's supposed to save you time, but I don't know about you. The problem I had obstacles in front of the tree, so my reach for my arm with the rock wouldn't hit the tree. So I had to try and stand on the rock and then crouch down so I'm at the right height to hit the X.
You're spending so much time just trying to hit the mark, and you end up wasting more time. So I agree with you, man. Very clunky. Like this entire game, it's just kind of a clunky mess. And there is something cool here. You start off with a stick house. You can upgrade it to logs, then to rock, and then even to metal. And you can get, you start off with a bow and like a stone hatchet, but you eventually get like an AK-47 or a rocket launcher. Like, There is some cool elements to this game, but to get there, there's just there's a lot of other games at this point that I would recommend before this. So one more thing I'm going to quickly touch up on is the map design. There's basically a starter spawning area, kind of like we have mentioned earlier. Just people spawning everywhere, just trying to kill you. So if you can kind of get out of that area somehow and somehow build a base, that's your best bet. But there are actual safe zones, which I thought was kind of cool. You go into this gated area where there's soldiers walking around, and there's sort of like a marketplace and a place where you can't use your weapons. You can kind of at least hide temporarily. But man, the map design, it is, again, a barren, boring map in my opinion. It's just, I think we need to score this one up, dude. What are you going to score this?
Yep. Well, to be honest with you, there is plenty of survival games out there. Unfortunately, this one wasn't for me. There wasn't enough content to keep me going. It's obviously not designed for one person. It's get your buddies involved, so you've got that extra help and support. But at the moment, when you got like Valheim with the beautiful graphics and the nice background music, like you touched on before, Last Oasis, the walkers and the creatures, still a survival game, but what a lot of fun. Then, unfortunately for me, I'm rating this a 4.5.
Oh man, I'm pretty close with you. I've come from the likes of Ark, that is just filled with trees and all sorts of resources and dinosaurs to kill. This game has absolutely pretty much nothing in it. This one's getting a 4 from me. A barren, boring game that is built for people who like to troll.